Welcome to Wine and Whine, where a couple of girls get together, drink a little wine, and do a lot of chatting. Today, we're going to talk about these new ads. Have you seen these new Thinks ads for these period-proof panties?
Yes.
What do you think of them?
I don't know. Like, I just don't like my periods to be messy. Like, I mean, that's why I wear tampons. So does it absorb the messiness? I kind of feel like periods are... It's not nasty. It's no. I feel like I like to talk about it. I like to be like free. I feel like if you have hair down there, then it's a problem. But when you're like shaved, I feel like you can just be free. Like you don't even have it. I feel like I don't even have it when I have like shaved in the tampon.
Well, I don't know about the product itself, but I have to admit, when I first saw the ad on the subway, I like clenched my pearls.
Why?
You know, well, because it was like a grapefruit that looked like a vagina and an egg dripping like
I guess
a menstrual cycle. So it kind of like made me tilt my head and say like, what is this? Then I learned it was for a good cause, which always for that. I'm all for girl empowerment, but the ad just feels a little unnecessary. Like you don't have to shock me in order to convince me to give back or buy a product.
I guess that's just marketing, just to get your attention.
I
to
just
get you
wanna
talking
know.
about it and calling your girlfriend like, girl, did you see that ad on the subway today? I really feel like it's smart marketing, just to get us talking.
I'm
Whether
not
you like it or
offended.
not.
It's that it's a grapefruit. I prefer to think it's more like a mango.
Right.
I don't know.
The grapefruit's kind of sour.
Right. Who wants the tangy, acidy associated?
But for me, like, it's not actually about the shock value of the ad. Like, it's more about that I think they're trying to create almost like a period revolution, where their goal is to normalize something that's been squashed and not talked about and oppressed for years and years and years.
Mothers should talk about it, and is an egg drip and a grapefruit coochie going to really educate them? I mean, I don't know that
It's
they're
gonna get
looking to
their attention.
educate them. Frankly,
Yeah.
I don't we all already own period panties? They're the old ones with the holes in them, right?
Just
Sex,
have to
I
try
don't
it.
know.
You first.
will.
I frankly
definitely
don't
will
want
try.
anything
I'm
new.
open.
I'm waiting for mine to go away. So I don't
feel
want
you.
any
If
revolutionary
we could not
products.
have-
I want it to go away.
It's because we're taught to be weird about them. You know, like we're taught like it's gross, it's messy, it's something that you don't talk about, like you have it and you hide away. Like that's how women in history did. Like they were secluded to like a special tent and they would bleed in the tent for days until they were ready, like until they were done. And in a way, like we're almost still living in that kind of society. Like it's 2016, like there's so much stuff that we can do now, but yet we can't like say the word period or like ask for a tampon in public. Like
I feel like
we
it is
can, but
messy.
people like it's shaming. So this company is trying to change the script, and I think that's really something to applaud.
I feel like it
Yeah,
is
I don't see
messy.
it
That's
as
why I don't
shaming.
use pads. I use tampons because then you have your wax done. And
You
can
and this
just-
waxing. We don't care about your hairless coochie. We're
put
trying
your
to talk
tampon
about the
on,
social
and it's
issue.
like-
Now we want to hear what other people have to say, so let's take it to the street with our girl, Charlene Brighton.
It's your girl Charlene on Wine and Whine on the streets, and today we are going to be asking people outside on the street about what they think about wearing period panties. Why do you think it's uncomfortable to talk about a female's period?
Well, I can think of a lot of reasons.
I think it's because maybe with the other gender they don't really understand, and when you don't know things, you don't like to talk about things.
Personally, I don't know why. Like, personally, I would like to know, because when I was with my ex, she would just be very open about it.
Well, for one, we're dealing with like literally centuries of shame surrounding it. It's no secret that the general society and academic world have been dominated by men that don't experience it.
I had a friend at work who was on her period, and I would ask her what was wrong, and she was just like, "Oh, I'm on my period." And I was like, "Thank you." said, "You're so cool for telling me that." I said, "I don't know why women are so uncomfortable with talking about it."
I mean, you're probably like the only man in the world that is comfortable with it. Did you see the advertisement for the period panties?
Did I?
I thought it was kind of cool.
Then I saw the ones that actually explicitly said, like, you use like such and such amount of blood like per day. This panty can hold it. And I was like, oh my God.
At first I was very confused. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what are they trying to advertise? And then my friend actually told me what it was about. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Do you think it will work?
No.
That's all we have for today. It's your girl Charlene. When you see me on the streets, holla at me.
Let's talk about the fact that they struggled so hard to get this ad posted on the trains. Why do you think that is when there's jock itch ads and extends and beef up or whatever the hell they got for the men?
It just goes back to what society has taught us, that periods are disgusting.
Well, that's what was my point is, they have these ads on the subway for these like enormous fake breasts, and like no one has a problem with that. There are small children on the subway that see that all the time, but like then all of a sudden there's an egg. It's not even a vagina. Like it has nothing to do with a period, and all of a sudden that can't get passed. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That we live in a society that's like sexualized boobs. Totally okay for children. Period. Something 50% of the population deals with. Like, oh my God. Like, let's all, like, clutch our pearls, like you said, like, and get all up in arms. It's crazy.
The founder said that she thinks it's because it's patriarchal, the hierarchy that determines most of what's socially acceptable. We agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do.
What I'm thinking about when I think about sort of the shame of it is when I was in like middle school and I got my period, I think before a bunch of my friends did, and I would have this like discreet little carrying case that I would have my tampons in and like, put it in my pocket and run to the bathroom, and it was just like, it was such an ordeal, and it was so shameful that like I didn't know, it was very uncomfortable for me.
I think that's why the campaign was so hard for the campaign to come out, because this is a man's world and they probably just don't want to hear about it. That's why the moms, when you get your period, the moms are just like, shh, go to the bathroom, let me help you, and it's like, okay.
But I shave, right? No, okay.
You know what I mean? You're like, come on.
So, in terms of the stigma attached to a menstrual cycle, do you think that some of it has to do with the fact that boys/men aren't really educated around this or aren't taught to look at it as something natural and acceptable for girls and women to have?
Definitely. I think that, we don't educate our boys as much as we educate women about their bodies. So, of course, it's gross to them. It's blood coming out of a cavity in your body,
That's hilarious. I just want to tell you.
Disgusting.
Right. What you're saying that I'm thinking about, you're saying that they should teach why it's important. The girls are taught that it's their friend, and guys are taught that it's
Their
the devil.
enemy, yeah.
Yeah, because that means she could get pregnant.
Right. Well,
that's a big thing, right? Period. Well, when you get your period, you are.
Yeah.
So the boys are taught, that means she can get pregnant. Like everything associated with it for men, that means you can't get none.
Right.
It's so many things that it means that are negative for them, as opposed to we're taught it's our friend. That means we're healthy and we can get pregnant.
Right, absolutely.
Or that we're not pregnant.
Right, when you get to a certain age, every time it comes, you're like, oh, hallelujah. Like, another month, we're good.
Right.
And me being older, I'm like, when is it going to stop? And so I had to go to a cardiologist, and he said the longer you have it as a woman, that means you have good heart health. So it became my friend again, because it really wasn't. I was like, enough of this now. There's supposed to be some benefits to this age thing. And so that reframed again, and now it's become my friend again, because it's symbolic of the fact that I have a healthy heart.
If you think about it, it's not just that they're not educated, it's that they're actively being educated in something else. Like, if you think about the media's depiction of women, and it's constantly objectifying, it's constantly bits and pieces of a woman, it's all about the sex. Like, think about TV shows that you've seen. You can probably name 6,000 TV shows you've seen with a sex scene in it, but have you ever seen one where a woman has her period?
I think if people saw the ads, they wouldn't even be attracted to them. They wouldn't cause anything to happen. But now that there's all this media around it, people are probably looking for them more so.
Yeah. There's also a woman with a panty on next to it. So that may be interesting.
She got on big panties. She got the big panties. She don't have the little panties that make you want to look.
They look tiny to me.
You don't wear panties. They must have been to you.
I do.
Today our business spotlight is on Reese B Designs, and we have the owner here. Introduce yourself, girl.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Sharice Broadbelt of Reese B Designs, Not Your Average.
Yeah, the not your average, that always intrigues me because it doesn't say what is not your average. So explain that for me.
The reason why I didn't want to kind of confine the name of Reese B Design, Not Your Average is because I know it's so much bigger than just accessories. It is an organization for nonprofit working with children. It will be.
What are you doing with the children?
I'm going into high schools and particularly dealing with 13 to 18-year-olds where I am teaching how to properly take care of yourself through media literacy and different forms of education where they will just feel more confident about who they are themselves, making sure that properly grooming themselves and things of that nature.
A lot of these young ladies
Yeah.
not only don't know how to groom
Yes.
themselves, they don't appreciate what a proper presentation will
Yes.
do for them.
So when I say not your average, it's really extending it to where I'm going to be teaching them the basics, like what type of undergarments to wear to a
You know
prom.
they got period
or-
panties now.
I know, I've seen it.
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
it. I've totally seen it.
Let's focus on these bow ties and bags. I know you expanded beyond it,
Yes.
but if you never did, this will be enough for me. I'm ready to snatch that one off your neck right now.
Yes.
So tell me about your line.
So some of these pieces are just, a little bit of who Sharice is. I love prints. I love accessories. I feel like adding accessories to any piece of your outfit can enhance it. You can have a very basic dress on, but if you have the right bag, if you have the right bow tie, it just gives you it just takes your outfit to the next level.
And I know you're about redefining sex appeal.
Yes, but I try to give them a classic with a twist. That's how I call some of my pieces. I add leathers to it. I like to use different silks, different brocades, and I really want to have my pieces stand longer than the trend. I want it to kind of transcend.
I'm sure they do transcend.
Yes, I'm
Thanks
excited.
for joining us. It's been an absolute
Thank
pleasure
you.
talking to you. Reese B Designs, y'all. In terms of this, do you think that the message around the menstrual cycle, which in some ways empowers us, gives us creative power, do you think that the message has been kind of disempowering with the association of having it?
I do. I think that if you're telling a woman not to talk about her period, you're telling her not to talk about something that happens to her once a week or one week every month. Like, that's a long amount of time. If you think about how many days in a woman's life that she has her period, I wish I had a statistic on that, but I'm sure it's staggering. That's a lot of time. That's a natural thing for a woman, and to tell her that she can't talk about it is absurd.
Where can the shift be so that not only do little girls understand and take pride in it and feel comfortable, but also little boys understand, take pride
Their
and are
brothers right
comfortable?
next to them and explain to them, listen, she's going through a process right now where she's going to start having this monthly cycle, and just explain to them, it's natural, it's not gross, it's normal, and this is how we're born.
Yeah, your sister has it, your mom has it, your grandma had it. Like, just make it a thing that's not a thing.
Should be part of their sexual education.
Yeah,
So when they're learning about the birds and the bees in their bodies, they should be learning about the woman's body also.
In the real old days, they used to celebrate it and have
they did.
little parties for little girls.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
Stay
I was
free.
so happy. Stay free.
I remember I got like a big hug. I think my mom called everyone in our family. It was very embarrassing, but it was something that I knew what
You're
it meant.
a woman
I'm
now.
a woman now. I
Okay.
couldn't cross the street on my own, but
Right.
Lord knows I had my period.
But you can bleed on your own. Right. Yeah. Well, sure. Let's all to women's empowerment.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Whine and Whine. We would love to hear what you have to say. Please comment below. And if there's a topic that you want to talk about, submit that and we'll cover it. See you every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
So today we're drinking a Villa Sonia Pinot Grigio. This wine is extremely refreshing. It's very sweet. It's got notes of fruit and floral tones. It's a really great wine to be paired with grilled fish or a nice green salad. So if you're looking for an authentic taste of Italy, this is the wine for you.